Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2020. The album, Dad AF. Rhiannon rings like a bell through the night and rock on gold dust woman. Okay, let's get into this video. I went to a party last Saturday night. I didn't get laid. I got in a fight. Boom, boom. Do you guys watch my review? Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter. Boom, 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 boom. Review stuff. Go check out my reviews. Today, I did another Dunkin' Donuts review. Yesterday, I did a tour of my junk drawer. So anyway, how are you guys doing today? Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. We are going to do a follow-up video to my video yesterday where I talked about Jaclyn Hill. Jaclyn Hill has come out and she has responded to these alleged leaking of her palette. She has now announced that she does have a palette with Morphe and some brushes, so we're going to talk about that in this video today. Okay, first I wanted to go in and I wanted to read this People magazine article, people.com. Jaclyn Hill announces new Morphe collection 2 years after her first iconic collaboration. So I want to read this to you guys, so for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, you will have all of the facts. YouTube beauty guru Jaclyn Hill isn't shy about admitting that 2019 was a challenging year. Please hold a second, I need to put on my lip balm. Okay. Sometimes you don't make it. But that hasn't slowed her down. The 29-year-old star had a successful relaunch of her brand Jaclyn Cosmetics in December that left her feeling so good and so confident. And has plans to continue growing the company while also preparing to release another exciting project. The next iteration of her best-selling Morphe makeup collection. More than 2 years after Hill first teamed up with the makeup brand to launch the first Morphe Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette, which sold out in just 45 minutes, the duo worked together to create the Jaclyn Hill palette Volume 2. I guess we're not going to talk about the vault in this one. Which she describes as the big sister to my original palette. Quote, "You put them together and they complement each other so much. This one has more pizzazz and pop. It features so many beautiful pinks and golds and corals, so it's the perfect time of year for it," Hill tells People exclusively. And then goes down and there's a beautiful picture of her. Morphe co-founder Linda Towell worked closely with Hill. I know I just butchered her name. Okay, I know. Worked closely with Hill to design both palettes and says now is the right time for their next collaboration. It's been over 2 years and the first one was loved by everybody. It was the baby of all babies for Jaclyn and I, she says. Okay, now this is real interesting to me. I'm just going to take a pause on this. That this supposedly is the right time. Now, what I find interesting about that is that over the last couple days, Jaclyn has said that this isn't the right time for the collaboration, okay? So now, the Morphe owner comes out and says this is the right time. So Jaclyn's saying this isn't the right time, the owner's saying this is what is it? I'm confused, okay? Hill adds, not to sound cocky, but the first palette we did together is literally the most iconic palette in the industry. Okay. It broke so many records. We actually have a trophy for it. Oh my God. Okay, I just can't sometimes with all this. So we were like, why not? Let's do round 2. While the new palette will include the same matte, satin, and shimmer formulas as the original one, it also features a brand new pressed glitter that Hill's obsessed with. There are 4 of them in gold and neutral tone, she says. They are so unique and creamy and glittery. You can just use your fingers to apply them, or a wet brush if you want. And then it shows the palette. Morphe and Hill are also adding 15 more brushes to her existing Morphe Jaclyn Hill Master Collection. Now, we need to go in here and remind everybody that when that first collection of the brushes came out, Morphe termed this collection as the only brushes you will ever need. And now they've come out with more. So I guess those weren't the only brushes you will ever need. I love that I get to create such amazing products at such an inexpensive price point, the star says. The palette rings up to $39, while the brush set is $99, and individual brushes range from $4 to $24. Now, I believe that a similar palette that James Charles did was $49, so it's $10 cheaper than the original James Charles palette. For fans who are dying for the next product drop in Hill's namesake brand, she says there are plenty of exciting launches coming down the pipeline. As of right now, we are working on building it out through 2022, she explains. Every single day, there are new products put in front of my face in the lab. Witch Lab, one of the 6 you hired. We're trying to create this core brand I've always dreamt of. Hill faced backlash from fans who complained of finding hair fibers, lumps, and tiny black holes in their Jaclyn Cosmetics lipstick at launch in June 2019. She relaunched the brand with a collection of highlighters in December. She says, the launch was sticky and it was messy and sucked for me. But after the highlighter launch, I'm so excited to just prove myself in the industry. Another picture of her that's fantastic. That's actually an older picture of her though. Okay. When dealing with the fallout of her lipstick launch, Hill turned to fellow businesswoman, celebrity hairstylist Jen Atkin, founder of hair care brand, it says Oi. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, and Claudia Norvina Soar, president of Anastasia of Beverly Hills. They were both so encouraging and gave me incredible advice about being a business owner, being a boss, and being a woman more than anything. It's so hard to be a female entrepreneur and to be taken seriously when you mess up. It's so easy for people to kick you down. Since they both run companies, create products, and have had mistakes, they know what it's like, and they lifted me up constantly, Hill says. The most important lesson she took away from 2019, just keep going, Hill says. I dead stopped in my tracks for a minute there. I panicked and went into such a deep depression. It was just so bad. I never want to go through that again. It doesn't matter what you go through. Picking yourself up and continuing to move on and believe in yourself is so important for your mental health, she says. And then it goes on and it talks about all the stuff that she talked about in her video the other day. And she talks about going through having anxiety and depression, and then she says when Hill is having a rough day, she loves to treat herself to a midday bubble bath with essential oils and candles, because it cures everything. But she also says it's been so therapeutic to open up to her fans about her struggles on social media. I love being honest with them and letting them know where I'm at in my life and what I've been going through. Hill says, I feel like we're friends and have that connection. The Jaclyn Hill Palette Volume 2 and the Master Remix Collection launch globally on February 13th in Morphe stores and at Morphe.com. So there you have all the information about everything that's going on with Jaclyn Hill. She did address the anxiety and the depression in her last video that she did. I made a response to that. I thought the video was very authentic. A lot of people said that they felt like it was manipulative. That was not necessarily my take from it. I thought it was where Jaclyn's at right now, the best attempt that she could possibly do to being genuine and authentic. And I enjoyed the video. Okay, so let's go in and talk about this. Oh, on the heels of this, Jaclyn has posted a picture on Instagram. Hold on a second, I want to pull it up. And I have all my receipts. My receipts! Whitney! Whatever you want, anything you want, the receipts, baby, I'll give them to you. Okay, anyway, she posted this picture right here, beautiful picture, and she says, I am woman, hear me roar. So apparently, the boss is back. And then, let's see, okay, so then Morphe came out and they posted, well, let's get back, first of all, okay, before all of this, Jaclyn came out on her Instagram story and she said that yes, okay, the palette had been leaked. She has no idea how it happened. Now, speculatively, what's going on, people are saying that happened, was that this was a damaged palette. Somebody took it from the factory and then somebody sold it on this website that's, I said eBay possibly, but it's not eBay. It's called like Uptown Funk or something. You know that song? I love that song so much. But it's called something like that, like On the Sale or I don't know. But anyway, and they sold it there. So it's like one damaged, I don't know how it got out. But if I were Jaclyn, I would want to find out how one of my damaged palettes leaked. Because she said in her Instagram story, and I was going to include it, but I'm not going to. She said in that, you can go over there and check it out. She said, you know, every single launch that I have, something is always leaked. It's really depressing. Well, that's a factory issue. That's, you know, a management of who's handling your situation. That would, to me, I mean, I would literally, the second that that happened, be at the warehouse, talking to Linda from Morphe, and I would be like, I am not doing anything with you guys again if you do not figure out what is going on. Every one of my products is leaked somehow. Okay, this is your issue. So how can I trust to continue to do work with you in the future if my products continue to get leaked? Unless they wanted it to get leaked to bring up drama and hype around the fact that she was coming out with this new release of the palette number 2, okay? So she came out and she said that. Morphe posted it and they posted the picture of the palette. Here it is. And they said, when Jaclyn Hill goes bold, she goes all the way. It's extra to the extreme, just like her brand new Jaclyn Hill Palette Volume 2. She's created 35 vivid shades to help you live your best life, 24/7. These bossy brights won't back down. So, are you ready for the ultimate glow up? Tag on, an OG Morphe babe who would love this. And so they go in and they say all that. Okay, now, I want to tell you, I went through and I read a lot of the comments on the Morphe website, or what, I think it was on Jaclyn's actually. It was underneath her one picture, and I was going in there to see if she was deleting comments, because Jaclyn has been allegedly accused in the past of deleting comments off of her videos, off of her Instagram. I've seen a lot of people say, I posted a comment, it's gone. And if you go through Jaclyn's comments typically on her Instagram, it's just glowing comment after glowing comment after glowing comment, right? So I was interested then when I went underneath here and I saw a couple comments that weren't favorable. Somebody said, didn't Morphe come out with this already? And then somebody responded and said, all the palettes are starting to look the same. Somebody said, exactly the same. And then somebody responded and said, what's the palette name that you're talking about that is the same as Jaclyn Volume 2? And then somebody said, LOL, all of the ones on the Morphe site. I mean, we still love Jackie. And somebody else said, to me, they look like the Vault collection before this. So she's getting tons and tons of criticism over the fact that they already came out with these brushes that they said that these were the only brushes that you would ever need, ever. And now they came out with more brushes. So apparently those weren't the only brushes that you ever need, ever. I don't know, okay? And this is where people get accused of it being a cash grab. And then everybody wants to come out and go, why are you coming for Jaclyn? It's not a cash grab, it's not a cash grab. Well, you can't come out and say, like, okay, for example, with James Charles, when he came out with his palette, and he said this is the only palette that you will ever need. So if James comes out with another palette, what's he gonna say? So that wasn't the only palette that you're ever gonna, I mean, you can't make a statement like that as a marketing tool to get people to purchase your product and then come out with something else. Unless you're gonna say, hey, we lied, and those aren't all the brushes that you're gonna need. We now have developed new brushes that you need, right? Okay. So it's interesting to me when people say stuff like that, because that's a marketing tactic to get people to buy your things, to say this is all you will ever need, right? Let's just think about it from this point of view. I use these wipes, okay, to clean my windshield of my car. And I think they're called like June's Miracle Wipes, right? You can use them for like 20 times over and over and rinse them out and wash them and all this kind of stuff, and they work. And let me just tell you, I swear by these things, okay? They're in my Amazon shop, which is listed below, but I swear by them, okay? So they're like an as seen on TV kind of thing. But they market these as being like a product that you can use over and over and over and over again. Like once you buy like one of them, you're not gonna need a whole lot more, right? It saves you on paper towels. They work better than paper towels, and they really do. I'm being completely honest. I did a review on my review channel. So if you used them once though, and then they ripped and they tore, and you needed to buy a brand new one each time, you can't come out and say this is a product that you use all over and over and over again, or that you're never gonna need to buy another product because these just stand the test of time, and then they rip every single time you use them. You can't say that. You've used this as a marketing tactic. So if the marketing tactic is to say, these are the only brushes you'll ever need, and then you come out with new brushes, but I don't understand that, right? The other thing that she's being accused of is that all of these palettes look alike, right? So I wanted to do a little bit of a test. So I took the Jaclyn Morphe palette, the first palette, okay? And then I took the Vault pictures, and then I took the Jaclyn Morphe palette too, right? And I put them all together, and I want to show you here is what they look like lined up. Now, I think they're similar, but I don't think that they're identical, you know? And so I think it's interesting, you know, and recently somebody said, they commented on my video, they said something like, well, how many, like, what do you guys expect, you know, from like eyeshadow palettes? Like, I mean, you can only redo this so many times, and I agree with that, you know? Unless you're gonna come out with a complete palette of all blues or all greens, and I mean, there's only so much that you can do. You know, you can do mattes, you can do shimmers and glitters. There's only so much that you can do. So how are you supposed to rearrange this so many times that it looks completely new every single time, right? But this is where I feel like Morphe is not doing any favors for Jaclyn Hill. Now, Jaclyn, she's gonna make millions off of this. She just is, okay? Because if you go underneath the thread, there are all these people that have to have it. I have to have this, I have to have this, I have to have this. But what's interesting is that there are a lot of comments from people saying that I already have 5 eyeshadow palettes that look similar to this, but I will purchase it to support Jaclyn, all right? So then what it is we're not buying products anymore because we want them, or we desire them, or because we think they're gonna make fantastic looks, or because it's an eyeshadow palette that is so, you know, revolutionary that we have to have it, right? In fact, when I was on the Beauty Guru Reddit, somebody over there said, I thought it was kind of a hilarious comment, they said, it's a beautiful palette, for 2016. It's not a new concept palette. It just isn't, right? In fact, I don't really know what a new concept palette is for 2020. I'm kind of waiting to see it. I'm waiting to see something that I get so wowed and awed by that it's like, okay, I have to have this. Now, if I was standing in a store and I didn't know this was Jaclyn Hill's and I was a Jaclyn Hill fan and had to have something that she put out and I just saw this palette compared to the other ones, is this a palette that you would have to have? Ask yourself that question. If you were not a Jaclyn fan and you saw this palette, is this a palette you would have to have? Like you would say, this is the end-all palette that I have to have. Or are you buying it because you're a fan of Jaclyn's, right? Now this goes back to Jaclyn, you know, doing like videos only when she's coming out with products that she gets accused of a lot. And, you know, if you're basing your purchasing off of being a fan of Jaclyn's, then Jaclyn, okay, as her #1 marketing tool, should be posting videos left and right. She should be interacting with her fans that she supposedly loves, per People magazine interview. She should be interacting with people. She should be doing all this kind of stuff to really bring that in. And she does do some of that, like with the Christmas giveaways and all that kind of stuff. And I know that she's had a tough year in 2019. But to build her brand going forward, her brand is built off of her fandom. If she doesn't keep that fandom going with posting videos, she's not going to have a brand. People, I mean, at some point, people are going to stop buying her products because they do look similar. I don't think they look identical. I think the new palette seems to have like brighter colors to it than the other two, like the Vault and the Morphe Jaclyn palette #1. But like, how many palettes can you put out that are somewhat similar? You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's interesting. What do you guys think about all of that? I did want to go in here for a second, and I did want to, read the Beauty Guru Reddit where they responded to this, and I just want to tell you guys a couple things that they said underneath here. Now, of course, it's not pulling up, so that's the story of my life. It's literally like one of the first things down here, though, when you go underneath here. The first one they have is Jaclyn Hill Morphe Brushes Round 2, and the second one right underneath here is the Jaclyn Hill palette, which has a lot of responses to it. So somebody said, Morphe, stop filling palettes with duplicate shades challenge. Somebody said, I'm so hyped up for 3 of the exact same orange shade that is also probably in another Morphe palette already anyway. Somebody says, lucky you, they are all in this palette. Seriously, 2 bone, 2 terracotta, 4 orange, 3 magenta, and 4 wine shades. FFS. I don't know what that means. No, I totally know what that means. I say it every day. Somebody said her first palette has a ton of repeat shades that look the exact same on the eye, so I'm not even surprised. I feel like at least 75% of this palette can be found in one of her prior Morphe collabs. And then somebody said, and they are so gutsy placing the duplicates so close together on the palette. I suppose if they place them on opposite sides of the palette, it would be too symmetrical. And then people go in here and they say a bunch of things about like putting the names on there. Somebody said, what a great palette for 2016. Then somebody said, this is what happens when you take so long with your collabs. Did you guys think that the video that they put out seemed like it was an interesting video. That's all I'll say. I thought she looked beautiful in the video. And she even said like some of the pictures were some of her favorite pictures that she'd ever put out. I thought she looked gorgeous in it. I thought it was a really nice video. I don't know what I think about all of this. I mean, I don't understand really why she's putting another collab out with Morphe unless it's just like she needs the money. I don't really understand it. You know, she said at the I would say sometime last year, she came out and she said, after she promised that she wouldn't be talking about Morphe a lot in videos, she then came out later in the year and she said, I'm going to continue to talk about Morphe because Morphe has been really good to me, right? So it makes you wonder, like, what is her share stake in Morphe, or is it just her Morphe code and doing these collaborations? Do we care? People are going to buy it anyway. There's probably a lot of you that will comment on this video and be like, I'm really excited about this palette, you know? So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you excited about this palette? Could you care less? Yeah, put it down there. Remember, be kind, be classy. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.